Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today we have the founder and director of the St. Louis Black Repertory Company, Ron Himes, today on The Bernie Hayes Show. Welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Ron Himes. Ron Himes, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Bernie. How are you?
Fine. Ron, you said you're celebrating on the 46th anniversary of the St. Louis Black Repertory Company.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to start it now. We're in preparation for it. We start rehearsing in a week or so, and we'll be ready to kick off the 46th season.
46th magnificent season for St. Louis Black Rep. And what's the first production this year?
The first production will be the African Company presents Richard III.
Now, the African Company presents Richard III, but was presented by the St. Louis Black Repertory Company. So tell us how that works.
Well, the African Company was a real company in New York City in 1821. It was founded in 1821, and the company primarily performed Shakespeare. They got to the point where they were drawing such large crowds that they became threatening competition for the white theater owner in the area. And at a certain point, they were both getting ready to do a production of Richard III. And the white theater was bringing over a big British actor to star in their production. And the producer didn't want any competition. So he sort of encouraged the constable to shut the black theater down. And in the middle of their performance, the constable came in and shut the theater down, arrested all of the actors. By this point, the African Company had become so popular that they had built a petition in the back of the theater, and white people would come to the theater and they had to sit in the back behind the petition. That was also something else that upset the competition.
I can imagine. So how did you choose Richard III as your first production?
Well, we've actually done the play before about 25 years ago when we were still at the old theater in Grand Center. This year we just decided we would do it again to kick the season off.
Where are you located now, Ron?
We perform now at the Edison Theater on the campus of Washington University. That's where this production will be. We'll do 3 of the 5 productions at the Edison Theater. One production will be in the Hotchner studio, which is right around the corner in the same building as the Edison Theater. And then we'll do one production at the New Burgess Theater at Coca.
Okay, what are the other productions?
Following the African Company presents Richard III, next up in January, which will be at the Edison Theater, we're doing Death of a Salesman.
Okay.
Now
Go ahead.
Then in February, in the Hotchner Theater, the small black box theater, we're doing a production called The Light, which is written by Lloyd Webb. And then we go to the Burgess Theater at Coca and we do Dominique Morisseau's Skeleton Crew, which was just recently on Broadway and nominated for a number of Tony Awards. Wow. And then we'll close the season out back at the Edison Theater with a production of Eubie, which is a review of music by the great, great Eubie Blake.
Now you have quite a long history with Washington University. In fact, the Black Rep started at Washington, is that right?
Right. While I was an undergrad at the university, we started a student group, and that student group evolved to become the Black Rep.
Okay. On Richard III, the African Company presents Richard III. Do you have local actors in this particular play?
Oh, yes. All the actors except one will be local. The play is written by Carlisle Brown, and the cast is all local with the exception of Wally Abdullah Jamal, who will be joining us from Pittsburgh. He was also in a production last season of Sweat.
Will you be producing this and directing and
right,
acting
I will be directing the production, and as well as producing, of course.
Okay,
yes.
will you be acting in it?
No, I won't be acting in it. The one show that I'll act in this season is I will play Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman.
Okay. Ron, how do you juggle your time, man? You do so much stuff. You do so many things with the St. Louis Black Repertory Company and other civic organizations around the city. How do you juggle the time, even when you begin to read these plays and to select these plays? And how do you, even sometimes, act in these plays? How do you do it?
Well, I have tremendous support from a really great staff, and I always have a wonderful group of fellows and interns who help to support the work that we do at the theater. Our board of directors helps tremendously. And, for myself, I try to focus on one project at a time. Mm-hmm. And that's all you can really do is, focus on one thing at a time. I get it done, I move to the next thing. Mm-hmm. But yes, as you mentioned, I read a lot of plays. As a matter of fact, I'll get referrals of plays from friends or colleagues. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine in Atlanta who had directed The Light called me and said, you need to check this play out. And I did and was really moved by it. And that's how I inquired about getting a copy of the script, read the script, and decided that, yes, this would be a good show for us to do in our season.
How about the sets, Ron? Who builds the sets and how do you get them built so quickly, and who does them?
Well, we have a crew that comes in of carpenters and painters, and for the past few years, they've been different each production. Okay. In the past, we had a permanent production team, but, when COVID really shut everything down, the theater industry sort of across the country, large theaters, small theaters, we all lost a lot of production people who left the industry. Some moved on to television and film, so that by the time things opened back up and we could start resuming doing the live theater, it's become a challenge really finding production people.
And do you have auditions for each particular production that you present?
Well, we did a set of auditions to cast Richard, the African Company presents Richard III. We'll do another set of auditions for the rest of the season. So there'll be one set of auditions for all 4 shows coming up.
Is there any particular actors that be in most of your productions?
Well, there's some actors that are repeating. Elijah Juan Davis, who was just recently in Don Trill, Who Kissed the Sea, and who was also in Jitney before that, will be in the African Company presents Richard III. But you'll see some actors that you've seen before in the rest of the season as well.
Okay, now you made quite a few moves from the Miracle on 23rd Street, right? So,
right. Well, we were on St. Louis Avenue and 23rd Street for 10 years at the Greeley Community Center there, the Miracle on 23rd Street, we called it. And then we moved from there, and we were at the Grandale Theater for 20 years.
Man, that time flies, doesn't it? Gee whiz.
Right. And then since then, we've been at the Edison Theater with a stop-off at the Emerson Performance Center on the campus of Harris Stowe for a short while. Mm-hmm.
What are some of the challenges that you find in each move?
Well, just getting acclimated to the space, getting a secure relationship with the people who we share the facility with, and making sure that our audiences are aware of where we are and when performances are happening.
So how can we get tickets and for Richard III?
Well, season tickets are actually on sale now, which would include the African Company presents Richard III. You can get information and/or tickets by calling us at 314-534-3810, or you can get tickets online at theblackrep.org. Okay,
Ron, what's the advantage of having season tickets for the Black Rep?
Well, season ticket holders have a few benefits that you don't get as a single ticket buyer. Season ticket holders are able to exchange their tickets. So if you can't make it on the date that you had scheduled, you can exchange your tickets. Season ticket holders get discounts. They get discounts on tickets. They get discounts on merchandise. They get information first on the big gala that we do every year. And they get ticket insurance as well. If you lose your ticket, we are able to look you up in our system and make sure that you're able to see each and every performance.
Ron Himes is our guest. He's actually the originator, the director, the inventor, the promoter, the everything on the St. Louis Black Repertory Company. He is the man. And we'll be right back with Ron Himes after this.
It's so easy to get tired out, burned out, and worn out, and that's why we have to let the rivers of living water flow over us and believe that God is doing a new and great work at this time, standing up to the oppressors that come from every different direction, having God wash us from clean from all the fears, the worries, the uncertainties, the what-ifs, and stand up for justice at this moment. Justice doesn't mean just us. It means letting the rivers of living water flow through us as we get in touch with God. This past week, I've been reading a book on George Washington Carver, a great man who had every excuse in the world just to kind of go through life. But instead, when he saw a problem, he cried out to God and believed Him for a solution. He cried out to God at a young age, said, Lord, show me your universe. And He said, it's too great and too big for you. Well, Lord, show me man, how he's made up. He said, that's too big for you. And then he said, Lord, show me a peanut. Show me how a peanut's made up. And what did He do? God used that man to turn the South upside down as He came up with all these different usages for the peanut. And instead of just growing cotton, they started growing peanuts. And He started showing usage for sweet potatoes and so many other forms of vegetation in life. One man calling out and letting the wisdom of God flow in him and through him. This is the first day of the rest of our lives. So let's give the Lord our life, not our excuses. Let's believe Him, like George Washington Carver did, to do exceedingly abundantly beyond we can even ask or think. This is a glorious day, and He's promised to release His unlimited power in us. He says, ask, it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, it shall be opened unto you. He tells us in John 14:12, behold, I tell you the truth. If you believe in me, Jesus said, you can do the very works I do. Yes, even greater things. I'm going to the Father. Whatever you ask the Father in my name, I will do it. George Washington Carver did that. You and I can do that. We can see the unlimited unlocked in our lives as we stop whining and start becoming winners and let the power of God flow in us and through us.
And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Ron Himes. Ron, how are you?
I'm doing great, Bernie, and yourself?
Fine. You know, I remember before your first son was born, you know, your son was born, and you were so elated to say, man. How old is he now, and is that the only person in the family?
No, he is 12 now. He turned 12 in July, and is getting ready for the 6th grade. And I also have an 8-year-old daughter.
Yeah, I see pictures of her all the time.
Yeah, she's a little drama queen.
So Ron, we were talking about season tickets before. Is it better to buy a season ticket than an individual ticket to your productions?
Oh, it's great to buy season tickets. One of the things that it does is it helps to us, it guarantees us an audience. You know, the season ticket holders are our base, our core audience. And we know that they're going to be there. They know they're going to be there. They've got tickets on a regular basis. Our staff gets to know them. They get to know the artist. And they have the advantage of seeing the same actors in different roles and different productions. And season ticket holders who have been with us for years have watched actors grow from, you know, being young actors into becoming more mature and more experienced. And so it's just a wonderful relationship for us to be in with our season ticket holders. And that's how we like to look at it, as a relationship where our season ticket holders really feel a sense of ownership in the theater.
How can we find out more about the season ticket holders and purchase?
To get information again about season tickets, you can go online at theblackrep.org. But we're glad to talk to you on the phone. We have people manning the phones daily from 10 to 4, and you can call us at 314-534-3810. We can give you information about single tickets, about season tickets, about group sales. If you're part of an organization or a group, your church, your social club, your professional organization is interested in having a night at the theater, we're able to accommodate you with group sale tickets and a group sales discount.
Do you still have your traveling performances?
Oh yeah, we are in the process now. We have a whole new group of fellows who are coming in. They'll begin mid-August, And that is the troupe of young people who take the work that we do into the schools and into the community. At this point, we're looking at 3 shows that we're preparing to go into the schools. One that is called Turn Up, which is written by Eugene and Naima Russell, and it's geared towards grades K through 4. And it's about a man in the neighborhood who wants to keep the community garden alive and thinks that it is vital for the neighborhood. We're looking at another piece called Sit In, which is written by Pearl Cleage, which actually looks at global warming. And then we're commissioning a 3rd piece, which will be a new world premiere on Frankie Muse Friedman.
What are criteria for people to have your company, your troupe, visit their facility?
Similarly, they can reach us and get information at the same number, 314-534-3810, or online. And we have a whole staff of our community and education staff are there to answer questions about booking performances to come into the schools or to come into your community organization.
And the Black Rep is also on Facebook and Twitter, is that right?
Yes, we're on all the social media now. I keep
Instagram.
Young people engaged to make sure that we have a strong social media platform, as well as we have a very active and up-to-date website.
Well, let's talk about this first, the kickoff on the American Company Presents Richard III. And on the thing it says villains, intrigue, confrontation, and that's just backstage. Explain that, Ron.
Yeah, well, you know, in Shakespeare's Richard III, you know, Richard is a dastardly character.
Yeah.
You know, he kills his brother and takes over the crown. So you've got that drama going on, but then you also have the drama that Black people are having to deal with just trying to do theater in New York City in the 1820s. And the challenges that they have, the barriers, that competition that they get from the character Stephen Price, who owns the Park Theater. And the Park Theater is the big main theater that, you know, resents having competition from Black folks and is just enraged that they would present a production of Richard III on the same night that he is producing his production, because he doesn't want the competition.
Sure.
He doesn't even look at them or respect them as competition, yet they're selling out every night, and they're beginning to draw larger and larger white audiences, which is taking away his audience. And so, you know, you've got that sort of villainy going on in terms of the real world that Black people are having to deal with, and in some instances, you know, still dealing with where bigger entities who don't want the competition shut down the competition by using the legal system to their advantage.
Sure. Ron, how much preparation does it take to rehearse for the American Company Presents Richard III?
We will rehearse 36 to 38 hours a week for the next 3.5 weeks. And performances will begin on September 7th and will run from September 7th through September 23rd, with performances on Wednesday through Sundays.
And then the next production would be what?
And then the next production will be Death of a Salesman, which will go into rehearsal in December and open in January. But before that, Bernie, in November, we do our big annual gala. And this year is going to be really, really special. We're really excited because last week we confirmed that we will be presenting the Morehouse Glee Club.
Wow. Morehouse, that's wonderful, man.
Yeah. You know, last year we brought in the Fisk Jubilee Singers.
Right.
And we made a commitment that for the next 5 years, we're going to support and promote HBCU choral music. And so for our galas for through our 50th anniversary, we will be presenting a choral group from an historically Black college or university.
We have about a minute and a half left in this section. Over the past 46 years, the St. Louis Black Repertory Company has not only presented drama, but you've done quite a few musicals, haven't you?
Oh, we have. I mean, you know, we've done all of the big Black Broadway musicals from the 70s and 80s, and we've created a couple of our own musicals. And we produced Yubi before while we were at the Glendale Theater in I think in the 90s. And we are very, very excited to produce it again.
It's wonderful. I want to come back and ask you how fast these 46 years have passed, but we have Ron Himes here. And once again, Ron, how can we reach you?
You can reach us at 314-534-3810 by phone or online at theblackrep.org.
And your offices are
Our offices currently are located at the corner of Olive and Kingsland, but we are in the process of moving, and so we're not quite sure when that move is going to happen. But presently, we are at the corner of Olive and Kingsland.
All right. Ron Himes is my guest. He's the founder and director of the St. Louis Black Repertory Company, and we'll be back with Ron for a final wrap-up after this.
As we celebrate 50 years of God's faithfulness, how I thank God for all the years that we've been able to work side by side with Bernie Hayes. What a blessing this man has been, and what a blessing all of you all have been as you've continued to partner with New Life Evangelistic Center so we can feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, reach out and be a family to those that have no family at all. Now, as we're celebrating 50 years of God's faithfulness, I'm asking you to pray that we can get back into 1411 Locust at this particular moment. It was such a hideous crime when rich folks move in the neighborhood, shut that building down and put the homeless on the street. So many are suffering out there. Now, if you'd like myself or my grandson, Chris Aaron, to come and share with your church or business or group, please call us at 314-421-302. Yes, we're celebrating 50 years of God's faithfulness, thanking God for Bernie Hayes and all of his supporters and all of you that have been praying. The door's open now. We want to move into 1411 Locust. We've got to complete the work. Through your prayers, through your involvement, we can make a difference. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri.
We're talking about Ira Aldrich, one of the most celebrated Shakespearean actors of the 19th century. Born in New York, Aldrich achieved his greatest fame in Europe, where he found professional opportunities that did not exist for black actors in the United States. In 1857, Aldrich at the Theatre Royal in Newcastle, England, performed 3 roles from his extensive repertoire: Othello, Shylock from the Merchant of Venice, and Gambia in The Slave. In the early 1820s, Aldrich performed in New York with the William Brown African Theater, the first African-American theater company in America. He then journeyed to England, where in 1833, he became the first black actor to portray Othello on the London stage. Aldrich spent the rest of his life touring Great Britain, Europe, and Russia, and became a British citizen in 1863. He used his position on the stage to speak out against slavery and advocate for racial equality. Ira Aldrich.
What does God want you to do as a Christian? He wants you to devote your entire life to loving Him, placing Him first in your life. And from that place of devotion and love, He wants you to love others and to serve them as you love yourself. This means loving the immigrant. This means loving the homeless panhandler. This means loving the criminal. This means loving your neighbor and your enemy equally. So love the Christian who's sitting in the pew next to you, no matter where they're at in life. Love the person in greater need by extending hospitality, grace, kindness, and love. Love with your actions, because that's what God requires of you. If you truly love God, you will love others well, recognizing that He loves you first.
And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Ron Himes. Ron is the producer of the St. Louis Black Repertory Company. He's actually the founder of the troupe. Ron, Bob Demler, producer and so forth, says it's not just a Shakespearean play that we're going to be watching in Richard III. The American company presents Richard III. Tell us about it.
Well, it's the African Company presents Richard III.
The African Company.
And as I mentioned, the African Company was a real company in New York City that was founded in 1821. It was founded by William Henry Brown, who was a man from the West Indies who had moved to the United States and had the great actor James Hewlett as his lead actor. James Hewlett actually was the role model for the great Ira Aldrich. Ira Aldrich was a youngster who hung around the African Company, grew up during the time that the African Company was performing, and James Hewlett was a really, really talented actor, singer, and his relationship with William Henry Brown was is the source of the play and the founding of the company, the African Company. Mm-hmm. And William Henry Brown was just a very, very resourceful guy. You know, so during that time in the 1820s, there would be houses that would have tea gardens. And what they would do is they would set up in their backyards, and it became a place for black folks to socialize. They would come there on Sundays or in the evening for tea and some entertainment. And James Hewlett had the desire to do more theater. And so William Henry Brown always managed to give him a platform.
Mm-hmm. Our Aldridge's house has been the subject of one of our Black History Moments here on NLAC TV. And that's just appropriate that we talked about him.
Right.
Ron, you know, people know you as the producer and originator of the St. Louis Black Repertoire Company, but you've also traveled and done some other plays in different cities with other companies, have you not?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm actually playing Willie Loman at the Nebraska Repertory Theater in Lincoln, Nebraska in November. And that was actually part of the impetus for us to put it in our season. So Jackie Thompson, who is a local director here in St. Louis, will direct the production in Nebraska, and then she and I will come back and mount another production of Death of a Salesman here in St. Louis.
And I assume, go ahead.
And just recently, we were at the Black Theater Network Conference, which was held in Detroit, Michigan, which was really great. And prior to that, earlier in the season, we moved our production of Sweat to the Inge Festival, which was held in Independence, Kansas. Later today, I've got a conversation which, you know, hopefully might result in us taking a trip to Australia.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know it takes a lot of money to do these sets, produce these sets, and build these sets that the Black Repertory Company has. How can we help you financially, Ron?
Well, you know, the first way and, you know, the biggest bang for your buck, of course, is buying tickets to see productions. But you can also go to the website, theblackrep.org. There's a donate button. You can call us at 314-534-3810. You can donate there. You can come in and volunteer. That helps us out. But the biggest thing that you can do is just to continue to support the Black Rep. If you've got children, encourage your schools, encourage your community organizations to book the Black Rep. And, you know, we are committed to this community. We're committed to people who are interested in Black theater. And we are here. We've been here for 45 years. We're looking forward to being here for the next 45 years.
And all of your productions are family-oriented, is that correct?
Some are. Some are, as I said, with the shows that go into the schools, you know, we have those shows. There's a K through 4 show. There's a 4 through 12 show. Some of our shows have language and content that you should talk to us about before bringing children.
Sure, okay. Ron, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you stopping by today, talking about the new season of the St. Louis Black Repertory Company. Once again, how can we reach you and when?
Again, you can reach us at 314-534-3810 or online at theblackrep.org. And Bernie, thank you so very much. You're always and always have been so very, very supportive.
You're very kind, Ron. And I thank you so much for all that you do for not only for the St. Louis and the arts community, but for the community at large. Thank you, Ron Himes.
Thank you.
And thank you each and every one of you for supporting NLAC TV. We're at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice has been here more than 50 years in this area, presenting things that you need. And now it's time for you to support the New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day. If you're not vaccinated, please get your vaccinations and wear your mask. Have a great day. See you next time.